I've been requested, some folks want to see this bell. So before I begin, I'm going to open it up. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah, my son would play around with the bell I had, so he's going to dig this. Wow, look at that.
Wow.
The whole neighborhood is going to hear this. Will you shut up? Wow.
Give it a try.
Huh?
Give it a try.
Give it a try?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's see. This nice bell cushion. You guys see it on Zoom? Can make some menudo in this.
Oh, right.
I don't eat menudo, but
You do now.
huh? I do now. I will now. Yes. Wow. Thank you, everyone. There's the bell. The bell of awakening, the sound of awakening. You know, we associate, like, you know, we hear the bell, time to meditate, time to come to lunch if you're in a retreat, you know, or whatever it is. It's like, but the sound of the bell is anything in your life, especially that really kind of a moment of, should be the sound of awakening for us, the reminder to awaken, the sound of a bell. You get cut off on the freeway and the guy flips you off. Look at your mind. That's what that sound is saying, look at your mind. Your boss says, you know, this work is crappy. Ring the bell. Not to come out fighting, but to wake up. To look at your mind. Oh, an opportunity to look at mind. Who's looking? Who's looking? So yeah, as practitioners, this is how we develop. This is what we do. We take it off the cushion into the world. So everything is the sound of awakening, the sound of a bell. Mindfulness bell. Or just awaken. No more hitting the snooze button. This is what we do. Beautiful bell. Thank you, everyone. That's amazing. Thank you. I'm sure I'm going to find it in my son's room. Where's my bell? Oh, I was playing with it. He's a musician. He's a drummer in band, so they have a big tournament this weekend. He plays baseball and he's in band, so he's, man, double shift. He was really tired last night. He's had a rough go, you know, with what we experienced, and then a few weeks ago, the school lost their band teacher. Died, passed away. So he's had a rough go. And then they found out that the band teacher actually took his life. So, very difficult for my little guy. But he's doing good, he's resilient. And I pray that I'm a help, just how I'm handling things, and I think kind of reflects on, gives them an idea of maybe there's a different way to work with adversity, mishaps. But, yeah, but he's doing good. He's doing good. The school's got him seeing a therapist like once a week. That's helping him out. Because on the outside, teenagers, they kind of really, they look a certain way. They're distracted with their things, but when everything settles down, they might not know how to work with now what's here, And not just young people, us too as adults. We have baggage. We're hoarders. We're hoarding emotions and stuff, rather than just letting it burn. But yeah, it's a lesson for us too, that it's a different way to work with things. Work with what arises. Working with what arises. This is our practice. This is what we're training for. And training for the ultimate moment of, the ultimate bell, the moment of death or demise. It's like, how do we work with this now? How do we work in the in-between states? So yeah, this is what we're doing. If you ever wonder, why am I practicing for? To have this composure, this stillness, this mind that's awake, relaxed and wide awake in that moment of checking out. Relaxed and wide awake. Traditionally, we call it the precious human life or precious human birth. You're taking advantage of that by coming here on Sundays, by cultivating your practice regularly. By maybe tomorrow you'll remember what I said about everything is the sound of awakening, the bell of awakening. And when somebody yells at you, you'll take it as an opportunity to relax, let go, respond, not react. So that means you're taking advantage of your precious human birth, your human life. Meaning that you've come in contact with the Buddha's teachings, the dharma. You've come into contact with the practice of meditation, contemplation. You've taken advantage of learning these time-tested ancient teachings, over 2,500 years old, right? Somebody might say, like, what does somebody from 2,500 years ago have? How can I relate? How can they relate to my life now? But look at the Buddha's teachings, what the Buddha was talking about, that there is suffering. And it's not out there. It's our clinging in our emotions, our negative emotions, craving, aggression, dullness or ignorance, greed, pride. These are the culprits, nothing outside. So this is what we're learning. So we're taking advantage of our precious human birth. So this is part of 4 reminders, we call them in our tradition. 4 reminders or 4 thoughts, the 4 thoughts. They say the 4 thoughts that turn the mind towards the dharma, or turn the mind towards awakening. We're turning our mind to a different way to be in the world, more awake, not sleepwalking through our world, through our experience. So the first thought that one contemplates, and this is important because it's, once you learn meditation and you're curious, you're interested in the Buddha's teachings, you say, how do I engage? How do I begin? This way is good, these 4 thoughts. The first is to reflect on the precious human birth, this life, this opportunity that you've come in contact with these teachings, these practices, and you're interested. That's why they call it a precious human birth. Because an ordinary human birth, a lot of people have no interest, right? There's a story about the Buddha when he became enlightened, he attained enlightenment, awakened, he was walking towards a village. And this guy, the first person that he encountered, this guy walked by him, and he said, who are you? What's your deal? And he said, I am the awakened one, I have awakened. And the guy just went, and kept walking, So, no interest, So the conditions, the karma wasn't there for this person. Other people saw the Buddha and saw a glow. So they went to him, they were attracted to him and asked who he was, and they had interest and they wanted to learn. So any human birth doesn't mean that it's called a precious human birth because we've connected. And actually, if you think about it, we've connected again. This isn't our first go-around. We've just connected again. How wonderful. And different ways that people connect. Some of us hit rock bottom in life, and they say, well, the good thing about hitting rock bottom is there's only one way, one direction to go, up, right? So some of us, it's that experience, and then it's just like, is this it? What's the meaning? And then somehow we find the teachings. Sometimes we don't. Maybe we find a different spiritual tradition. But in this case, in our case, we've found the Buddha's teachings. We've, perhaps through meditation. First we found meditation, and we this helps. This really helps. I find it helpful. What is the origins of this? Then we kind of start getting more into it. Some people are like, no, I'm just meditation. I don't want anything to do with that Buddha stuff, But some people, oh, interesting. That's a wonderful opportunity. That's a great opportunity. So we reflect on that and not waste it. Not waste it. Why? The second thought that turns the mind towards awakening, to reflect on impermanence. Impermanence. This precious human life is impermanent. We don't know when the bell tolls. So don't waste your time. And this can mean many different ways. We might say, it doesn't mean to quit our jobs and go to join a monastery and shave our heads and, wear robes. And for some of us, it might be that. It's okay. For some of us, no. We have responsibilities. We have families. We're going to school, whatever it is, right? But it means not to waste the opportunity of what we've come in contact with. So like you guys here, come on Sundays, cultivate your practice. Do it throughout the week. Maybe you have a regular schedule, regular practice during the week, or maybe Sunday is okay. What you put aside for meditation practice. But open up. What am I doing tomorrow morning? I usually hit the snooze buttons a couple of times and sleep for another 15 minutes. But what if I get up as soon as that bell rings and just sit for 15 minutes? Or the 10 minutes of snoozing, what if I sit for 10 minutes? Or even hit the snooze button and stay in bed and just stay awake and present. Breathe in, breathe out. Tension on the breath, tension on the body, Everything is an opportunity. So we reflect on impermanence. Everything's impermanent, including our precious human birth. So we don't waste the opportunity. We reflect on impermanence of material things, things that we put so much attention on. I had a nice mindfulness bell last month. Just impermanence, man. Impermanence. Oof. But how interesting that I can smile about it and joke about it and talk about it. Not go into a cocoon, Doesn't mean it's not challenging and painful sometimes. No, of course it is. We're human beings, right? So we experience. Oh yeah. I lost everything. Wow. And then the next moment, now what? My son comes out, hey, I'm hungry. Okay. Now this. There's no, can't you see I'm dealing with blah, blah, blah? That's what, as I mentioned during meditation, if the mind is busy, let the mind be busy. It's not going to be busy forever. Why? Impermanence. Temporary. If the mind's at peace, let the mind be at peace. Just notice. Don't try to grab it, catch it. Because it's impermanent. It's going to change. So we just let it be. And watch the flow. Watch the transition. Watch the transformation of each moment. All our experiences. Reflect on impermanence. We don't like to reflect on impermanence with things that we like, that are good. Romance, a good movie we never want it to end. A series, oh, the 9th season, and it's the final season, oh no. We don't. But we forget that when things are hard, we can reflect on impermanence as well. The good news, when things are difficult, impermanence. Transitory. So we reflect on impermanence. What does that do for our state of mind? There's more appreciation. Appreciation develops as a byproduct of that. If it's depression as a byproduct of impermanence, it's because we're holding on. No. We might catch, but we forget that we can release. It's hot. This is really hot. Let go. So we can catch, release. And the more we do it, more moments of just an open hand, release. Impermanence. And then the third reflection is cause and effect. Karma. You say, reflect on karma. Sanskrit word. But I think it's pretty, people are familiar with the word karma, yeah? I think there's even like an app called Karma something. But it's pretty familiar in the West, karma. But karma is action. Action. And what the result will be. The Buddha said, there's cause and effect. That's truth. We can look into it and we'll see. It's not a myth. We can look into, there's this because of this. There's the end of this because of the end of that. Cause and effect. So we reflect on our actions, really, karma. They say traditionally, they say the only thing that we'll be able to take with us at the moment of death is not all the accumulated material things we have. All our books, all our shoes, all our clothes, all our records. No. The only thing we'll take with us at that moment of death into the next is our actions, is our karma. So we reflect on our deeds, our actions. What are we doing? What are we up to? We often blame, right? Why did this happen to me? I've turned that around. I say, why? People say, why me? I say, why not me? Why not me? In accordance with cause, conditions, the result. Does that mean like what happened to me, my house burning down, it was because I'm a very bad person in this life, That caused like negative deeds? Perhaps, or perhaps not. Who knows? Karma is also very complicated. It's not as easy as, not black and white. Such a giant web, cause and effect. When the conditions come together, the effect will result, the result will come up. I've been practicing for over 20 years now, and making wishes. There's these prayers that we make wishes. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe from harm. May all be, giving away everything that's good for me, taking in the suffering, making these, these prayers that are in formulas. And then also just the mind, always wishing, may the, I laugh because I go, may the, there's these prayers where they say, may the dharma spread in all 10 directions, right? I thought about that when I thought about all the books that I lost, all my prayer books, everything. And then when I went to go see my place, there was like sheets of paper, and I took pictures of them. They're like dharma pages all over the neighborhood. And I was like, well, be careful what you wish for. Isn't that what I wish for? May the dharma spread in all 10 directions, Maybe somebody will pick this up and say, what's this? What? All compounded things are impermanent. What? That'll be there, right? Or they might just go, I don't know what that is. But who knows, So, mind training. Transform, change our mind, how we relate to something. Instead of like, I lost everything, all my dharma, blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, may all beings benefit. I had boxes of incense. Wow, that neighborhood must have smelled so good. All these offerings of incense for all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Wow, Change your mind. Always possible. It's up to us. It's up to you. It's up to you. You. Not somebody or something else. It's how we relate to it. We always have a choice. Sometimes it's kind of constricted and we don't clearly see, but there's always a possibility. And it starts with, this is what we do when we practice meditation. This is formal practice, the posture. This posture of being awake, alert, upright, not like going through life like this, it's like, and then we sit in stillness, not engaging in thoughts, letting them be, let them play, we watch. We sit this one out. I've been using that a lot. Mm-hmm. We sit this one out. So what does this do? This becomes ingrained in us. So in our world, we're able to just like, oh yeah, oh yeah. We don't have to even say like, this is impermanent. We know it is. This is temporary. Yeah, it's painful, it hurts, but it's temporary. It's impermanent. This too shall pass, right? They say. So this is what the practice does. Very important to remember that. We're practicing to be in the world off of the cushion. To be less reactive and more responsive. We're training to be first responders. Not first reactors. So cause and effect, the third reflection. Reflect on cause and effect. Our actions. What am I up to? Instead of blaming something that happened to us, what are we up to? A teacher said to me once that we struggle with what's happening to us, but there's nothing we can do. That's the result. That's the fruit. It's useless to struggle with the fruit, right? It's like the toast burnt, and we're like complaining because the toast burnt. It's done. You can't undo it, right?
You can scrape off the top.
Or you can scrape the top off. Exactly. Mind training. Or you can put another slice in the toaster. And put that in your compost bin or whatever. Feed it to the cat. So the teacher said we struggle with it. It's a result. So what we're doing is we're perpetuating that negative karma, that harmful actions. That's an action. To complain and blame everything, that's action. So what do you think the result of that's going to be? It's just like a wheel, right? That's what we say samsara, the wheel of existence. It's just blah, 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 blah. But what can we do, right? My house burned down. Just rest. What can I do? What do I need to do? Respond. That's productive. That's helpful. That is not perpetuating. If that was because of negative actions that I accumulated in this life or another life, well, good news. It's done. That's a big fruit. That's a big result. I must have been like a pirate or something in another life, or a barbarian, going through villages and terrorizing people. That's done. And on top of that, wonderful incense offerings to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Dharma, spreading in all directions. So that we reflect on cause and effect. Our actions. What are we doing right now? Does it benefit? Is it beneficial, or is it harmful? For others and myself. Whatever happens to us that we find unpleasant, there are no innocent bystanders. We have a role. So we can say, I wonder, we might know, we might not. We can just be curious. I wonder what my role is in that, in this, what's happening, Whether now or in another life. This is appearing for me now. So again, changing our mind, how we relate to it. Instead of perpetuating and adding more fuel to that log, we're letting it burn out. And it burnt out. Next. Now what? And then the fourth thought that we contemplate, reflect on, is the futility, they say, of samsara. Samsara is a Sanskrit word for the wheel of life, or the wheel of existence, or conditioned existence, samsara. Because we're conditioned. Meaning that once the conditions stop, it's the end of the show, right? So in samsara, everything is conditioned, including us. It's come together from many, many parts. Everything that we look at. You might think this bell is like solid, permanent, unchanging, fixed, you know? But this bell is like made up of atoms that we can't see, right? It's made up. It's a composite. And it's changing moment to moment to moment. It might look like still brand new, maybe a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. What happened to my bells? Right? Impermanent. Burnt up, probably melted. Who knows what happened to them? You know? So they're composite. It's conditioned. So the reflection is to reflect on samsara, this wheel of conditioned existence, how we're trying to find true happiness here. We're trying to find satisfaction here. You know? But it'll be temporary. You might find it, but it's temporary. Why? Impermanence. Remember? Impermanence. So trying to find lasting happiness here, whether it's by accumulating material things, this will make me happy. Once I have that, then I'll be happy. Maybe temporary, you know. Once I have my Rocky Road gallon of ice cream, I'll really be happy. We start eating that, we're happy.
Sounds good.
Right about, you know, when it's about a quarter left, we're like, oh, what happened to the happiness, right? What happened to happy? Conditioned, changed. So we reflect on that we're not going to find lasting happiness in this hamster wheel of existence because of dukkha, suffering. It's unreliable because it's conditioned. Everything's going to change. Long Beach meditation, I've been here over 30 years, I think, right? Who knows how long it'll be. You might think, oh, this is something permanent. You might come here, be a sign on the door, closed. Long Beach meditation, out of business. Not enough clients, you know? We don't know. So, a precious human opportunity. Take advantage. Don't waste your time. Oh, this will always be here. You don't know. We don't know. I'll always be here. We don't know. So, what do? Get down? No, get up. Appreciate. Appreciate. Grateful. Gratitude. Express that with loving kindness, friendliness to everyone. Not just your dharma brothers and sisters, but the world. The coworker who's always annoying you or whatever, you know. Friendliness towards that. And friendliness towards your mind. When you're okay, I'll be friendly to Kalitas because she's so annoying to me sometimes. You're actually, look what that's doing to your state of mind. We're using it, you know, the object as a place of attention and a place to, you know, apply an antidote to my feeling of, it's like, okay, friendliness, okay, yeah, she means well, and then look at your state of mind. That's what's transforming. The object's not transforming. Kalitas is still Kalitas. And if Kalitas was really annoying, everybody would experience her like that, right? But we look at that. So it's just by perception. And that perception is impermanent. It can change. Because we're in control. We can change that perception. How? Lighten up. Lighten up. friendliness towards Kalidas is friendliness to, the byproduct of that friendliness is happiness for us. A state of mind that's at ease and relaxed. Once Kalidas leaves the room, we're still like at ease. You know? So that's my, not 2 cents, I guess 4 cents. 'Cause there are 4 thoughts that turn the mind towards awakening. What was the first one?
The precious human life.
What was the second one? Huh?
Impermanence.
Impermanence, yes. Precious human birth. Impermanence. What was the third one? Karma. Cause and effect. Our actions. What are we up to? What are we up to? And then the last one? Samsara. The hamster wheel. Doesn't mean like, well, can't do anything about it. It's conditioned existence. Yes, we can. You can change our mind. When you change your mind, transform your mind, and your world transforms. We want to change the world. What if we start at home? Change the mind. There's a Buddhist master, Shantideva, who wrote this text called The Way of the Bodhisattva. And he wrote in there, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, you know, what's the use of, if the earth was covered in thorns, what's the use of covering the entire earth in leather when it's easier just to put some shoes on, cover our feet in leather, right? But we want to change the whole world, cover the world because it's full of thorns. Put some shoes on. Put some leather on your shoes. It's easier to put leather on your feet than it is to leather the entire world. You know? So precious human life. I see everyone here taking advantage of that today. Impermanence. You're going to experience impermanence pretty soon. Class will be over. Cause and effect. Look at your actions. What you did today. You're here. And sitting in stillness. And sitting with this attentive and listening to a talk. That action just of doing nothing. We're not annoying anybody. We're benefiting beings. We're out of their way. You know, we're here sitting in stillness. So our actions and samsara. Yeah, we're not going to find true, you know, everlasting happiness here. Because impermanence. So it's not reliable. It doesn't mean we give up. We just know that. And proceed. And work with our mind to be beneficial to others. To others who perhaps haven't come to that realization yet. Haven't even thought about just, you know, this is temporary. Material things, enjoy them while you can, but they're temporary and impermanent. So thank you everyone for your attentiveness and taking in my heartfelt advice and these 4 thoughts that in my tradition, you know, this is something you can contemplate like if you have a practice at home, you're going to begin meditation, you know, get in the posture, ring the bell. Bring those to mind. Reflect on this precious opportunity. How wonderful that I have the leisure and the opportunity, everything aligned where I can sit. I can take 30 minutes of the day or 20 minutes and sit and do nothing. Appreciate that. Take advantage of that. Try to contemplate impermanence. Life is impermanent. This opportunity is impermanent, so I will not waste it. Cause and effect. Check your actions. Reflect on cause and effect. The only thing I'll take at the moment of death is my karma, my deeds. The result will fruit when the conditions come together. Always. So we're practicing right now. We're changing our mind, accumulating merit, practicing positive, virtuous deeds. But there's still many, many lifetimes of actions that we've performed that have been harmful. Does that mean, we're going to get it? As Jampa Rinpoche would say, pain is not punishment and pleasure is not a reward. It just is what it is. Causes, conditions, the result. But what we're doing, turning our mind towards the dharma, is the effect of whatever negative karma, whatever unvirtuous, harmful action that we did in this life or other lives, that effect will be diminished, not as strong. It might be a mosquito bite. Versus if we perpetuate negativity, negative karma, these results will be stronger. So thank you, everyone.
Hi, I'm Franz with Long Beach Meditation. Your gracious generosity makes this programming possible. If you found this video to be of value, please consider making a donation here. If you'd like to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to stay in touch with Long Beach Meditation, click here to subscribe. Thank you, and may all beings be happy.